This morning I got up and I thought to myself, boy, I really had a nice vacation in Vermont just a couple months ago. I had such a good time. There was snow on the ground. I got into a snowball fight. I bought a few things. I took some photographs. I even drank a beer from a local microbrewery. Oh, and it was delicious. I had such a good time in Vermont. It was my first time. So, how about you? How was your last vacation? Where did you go? What did you do? Who did you see? Did you buy anything? Take any nice photographs? Send some postcards? Let's take a look at some important grammar notes about the past tense, shall we? Okay, let's begin.
Today we are going to study the past tense. There are three very important parts to the past tense. First is the irregular. You just need to memorize these past tense verbs. Let's take a look at a few examples. Go becomes went. See becomes saw. Eat becomes ate. Do becomes did. And be becomes was and were in the singular and the plural. Now let's practice a few more examples. Buy becomes bought. Drive becomes drove. Fly becomes flew. Have becomes had. Know becomes knew. Leave becomes left. Pay becomes paid. Say, said. Teach, taught. Write, wrote. Very good. Now let's go on to our next important part. The negative past tense is important to study. We make our sentences like this. I didn't go to the beach. We didn't see a movie. She didn't buy new clothes. Notice that the main part of the verb does not change. Go, see, and buy remain in its plain, simple, and base form. This is very important to remember. Now let's take a look at some incorrect sentences. I didn't went to the beach. We didn't saw a movie. She didn't bought new clothes. The negative auxiliary verb didn't serves as the past tense. The main verb, in this case go, see, and buy, do not change. Try to remember this very important part. We'll continue studying some of these important rules after a brief message.
Hello. We interrupt your program, English Instructor, to bring you news and views. And while you're watching news and views, be sure to notice some of the vocabulary. You may even want to get a little help from a friend, a dictionary, or a teacher. Now, let's watch. Welcome to News and Views. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Amanda and I am from Kansas.
Wow, I've never been to Kansas. What is life like in Kansas?
Well, it's very open. I'm from a small town, so everybody knows each other and are very close.
Good. What's Kansas famous for?
A lot of people know Kansas for their tornadoes.
Tornadoes? I hear tornadoes are scary. What was your scariest tornado experience?
Actually, a tornado went through my hometown, and it didn't affect our house, but it tore down a friend of mine.
That must have been devastating for them. Do you have plans to move back to Kansas permanently?
Eventually, yes, I do. I plan on raising a family there.
Well, good luck. I'm sure you'll have a beautiful family in Kansas. Thanks for appearing on News and Views.
Thank you.
That was News and Views. I hope you had a chance to notice the vocabulary. Be sure to practice some of the vocabulary in your future conversations. Now, back to your regular program.
That was News and Views. I hope you thought it was interesting. I certainly did. Now, back to our lesson on the past tense. If you remember that irregular has three important parts. First, irregular verbs, go and went, for example. Also, the negative sentences. Now, let's take a look at another important part, yes-no questions. Yes-no questions means the answer is either yes or no. But the grammatical structure is also very important. Here are some examples. Did you drive to school today? Yes, I did. Or no, I didn't. Did you tell her the good news? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Did you grow up in New York? Yes, I did. Or no, I didn't. Now let's take a look at some incorrect sentences. Did you drove to school today? Did you told her the good news? Did you grew up in New York? These are incorrect because the main verb, in this case, drive, tell, and grow, does not change. Did, which is the auxiliary verb, serves as the past tense. This is a very important rule to the grammatical structure of yes/no questions in the past tense. Well, I hope you learned something in the irregular past tense. Let's have a little quick review, shall we? We studied 3 important parts. First, the irregular, like do, did, go, went, see, saw, eat, ate. We also studied the negative, such as I didn't tell a lie, or she didn't buy new clothes. And at last we have yes/no questions in the past tense. Well, I hope you learned something today. Be sure to practice the past tense with your neighbors, friends, and co-workers, and eventually and gradually you'll learn more and more. Now let's watch 2 students have a conversation practicing the past tense.
How? Did you do your homework?
No, I went to a party last night.
You did?
Yeah, I bought some new clothes, drank some beers, and ate good food. Saw some of my friends and learned some cool new dancing moves.
Oh, well, what is more important? To learn something, dancing moves, or you're doing your homework?
Learning some cool moves, of course.
Oh, come on, forget it.
Now let's practice some questions. What didn't he do last night? He didn't do his homework. Where did he go? He went to a party. True or false? He bought some new shoes. False. He bought some new clothes. He drank some wine. False. He drank some beer. He ate some good food. True. Now let's practice some multiple choice. Who did he see? A, his girlfriend. B, his friends. Or C, his co-workers. B, his friends. What did he learn? A, karate moves. B, English grammar. Or C, cool dance moves. C, cool dance moves. What's more important than homework? A, learning dance moves. B, eating good food. Or C, buying new clothes. A, learning dance moves.
Well, that concludes this episode of English Instructor. I hope you learned something about the past tense today. Be sure to practice some of the vocabulary and the grammar structures you learned in today's lessons and practice them in your next conversations. I also really want to thank the guests, the actors, and the volunteers for being in this video. Be sure to watch another very interesting episode of English Instructor. See you again. Bye.
We're going places at AnthonyHalderman.com.